back in action. Oh, jeez, dude. It actually looks so angled. It's fine. It's fine.
FFS.
It's fine. All right.
We rock and rolling?
Should we start the podcast?
I think we should begin our journey
Okay. Journey to the center of the earth.
to the dishwasher.
The sun. Our dishwasher's the sun. And we're just orbiting. Everything's based on the dishwasher. We're just orbiting.
You know, some guy on my Discord did like a trip from like Alabama to like the moon, and it took 10 hours. And then he said he listened to our podcast for like 8 hours.
What did you say? Alabama to the moon?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't know.
The moon?
Yeah, I just said the moon. Because it's 10 hours.
Ah, okay. Got it. So somewhere in America. Got
That's
it.
correct.
Why did I take that literally? So some guy traveled from Alabama, 10-hour trip.
To the moon.
And he listened to how many episodes?
He listened to 8 hours of our podcast.
8 hours.
I know. I said, aren't you sick of my voice by now?
Love it.
Yeah. So what episode are we up to? Nate Doog.
Oh, that's a good question. Is it 26?
Lucky number 26. Lucky number... No, it's 27, I'm pretty sure.
27?
Pretty sure it's 27. Don't bullshit me here, Nathan.
What's your bet? Let's do a bet.
27.
I'm guessing 26. Let's see who's right. Come on. Oh, I'm checking the YouTube. Hold on. 26, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Told you I was right.
Far out.
All right, it's my turn then,
All
right?
right. That's correct. You're even, I'm odd.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of
Yep.
Broken by Concept. Welcome, league enthusiasts.
Yep.
10,000 downloads, Curtis.
Whoa.
We have officially hit... Everyone clap. Can we clap with these microphones?
Wait, how do I... Golf clap.
Golf clap, yeah.
Oh, is that a golf clap?
I don't know how a golf
How
clap
does it-
works.
it's like...
Yeah, but I can't do it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like this.
Yep.
10,000 downloads, Curtis.
Wow.
Good work, everyone.
Yep.
Can you believe that? We started this how many months ago? 3 months ago?
It's a good effort.
10,000 downloads, man.
Pretty good.
So that's through sort of Spotify mainly. Everyone mainly listens to Spotify.
Yeah. Spotify's pretty popular, isn't it?
And then Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Which was good to get on there. Because you know what? I didn't realize how there's like people... Because I remember reading something about the Joe Rogan experience, right? Because the people were pissed off that it went only to Spotify. Because there's like this diehard audience of like people only listen to podcasts on Apple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's crazy. Because we've never had iPhones, right?
So what happened? Like Joe Rogan just lost a big portion of his audience, so they all moved to Spotify.
I mean, I guess you would have to, right?
Interesting.
So that's why I really was trying to get it on Apple for Apple.
So we're on both now.
Yeah, well, we've been on both for ages now.
Sweet.
We mainly get most of our downloads, so I thought that was a good achievement to highlight.
And you know, we got to make that 100,000 now.
How many? What episode do you reckon we'll hit 100,000 on? Let's do a
50.
guess. 50.
No, wait, no.
So are you gonna think of
like,
exponential rate?
I reckon
or
around
like
70.
episode 70. You think 100,000?
Yeah.
So an extra 45 episodes.
Around that. Yep. Yeah.
Oof, you're close. My guess would be... I'm going to go with...
Dude, imagine what episode 70 is going to look like.
I'm going to go with... I'm going to be a bit more pessimistic.
You're a pessimist.
And I'm going to go 90.
Okay. Sounds good. So we've got a lot to cover today. I mean, I know we don't really like doing topics, but I just want to start the ball rolling.
Let's get the ball rolling.
We're going
Juices
to
flowing.
start somewhere. So I want the theme of this episode to be all about environment. How your environment affects a lot of things.
Environment.
And I got linked a chapter of a book by Swagnar. I love his name, Swagnar. Yeah, it sounds like an alien name. And it was from a book, I believe, by Malcolm Gladwell. I believe the book's called Blink, I'm not 100, or Tipping Point.
Okay.
One of them.
Yeah.
And there's a chapter, I read this chapter of this book. I'm probably going to buy it at some point, probably after Christmas, because there's a few books I want to order right now. I think Helia recommended one called Musashi about that Japanese swordsman. Have you heard of this? Heard of that one?
No, you didn't mention.
There's a book about this. This one that's what Joe Rogan's tattoo's about.
Really?
Yeah, his sleeve about that legendary samurai.
Yeah.
in Japan.
What was he famous for?
And he has like this book we wrote about like the principles, about like he dedicated his life to his craft.
To sword fighting.
It's about being a craftsman. And like all leaning on that and just being like a warrior.
Fascinating.
It's super fascinating. I want to read about it, but I haven't had the chance.
So what was he famous for? Being the best samurai?
Yeah. They're like
so he like had the most kills, or?
So. I mean, I don't know his story, but from what I've heard, he's like a legendary samurai.
Fascinating.
And he has like a thing where he's like principles and like how he lived his life and like rules and like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So you can apply that to your own life.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. But anyway, this book, chapter, and essentially it told of a story. There's a real story. I was talking to you about this briefly today, but I think it was in New York in like the 90s or something. Might have been either early.
Wait, this is unrelated from the samurai stuff.
Yes, it's completely unrelated to the samurai. That's just another book that just got brought up.
Your segue was like, oh, there's a story in that book about in New York. I'm like, what's going on here, Kev?
No, but like the reason I was bringing up the other book that I wanted to buy is that you can't buy books now.
Yeah.
Because you're just not going to get them forever because Christmas, post, people are getting dicked. So you just got to wait till January.
But you can buy it on like internet, right? Like Kindle and stuff.
I'm just going to wait.
Okay. You're a hard
I've got so many
book.
books to read anyway. It's all good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I believe it was in whether it was in the 80s and the 90s or early 2000s. I believe it was in the 90s. New York was not a good place to live. It might even been earlier than this.
Yeah.
There was like racism. It might have been 80s. There was racism. It was a lot of damaging of property. There was like a lot of vandalism, robbery, economic troubles and things like that. And the city were trying to come up with a strategy in order to prevent this crime. And, it was getting out of control and really turn around the city. Because parts of the city that were just completely screwed. Like broken windows, graffiti everywhere, robberies. It was just not good. Anyway, this guy had a theory that if you were to just fix the simple things, it would have a flow-on effect. For example, if you went round and you fixed all the broken windows, the environment or the effect that the way people viewed that environment would be less inclined to break things, steal things, smash things, because it's well kept. It's kept well, So there was two parts to the story. There was the first part, which they went around repairing a lot of the damaged buildings and the windows. And then the second one was that they had an effort to remove all the graffiti from the trains and the subway. And it was a massive effort over the span, I think, 5 years or something. And they significantly reduced the crime rate or the damaging and the vandalism rate within New York City.
Yeah.
Because of this.
By just making things look cleaner.
That's correct.
And fixing things up.
Because then the perception was, this is a well-kept place. The chances I can get away with this is less.
Yeah.
Or like maybe they're just less inclined to do it. It's like
there's 4 broken windows. What's one broken window going to do an extra break versus I break one window.
And they all...
Whoa, then everyone knows this is bad.
Yeah, this is bad, right? And it's super fascinating. And the reason Swagner linked this to me was that all this is about environment. Environment affecting your actions or influencing your actions. And this is solo queue. And last episode we spoke a lot about how toxic the solo queue environment is and how important it is that we talk about the strategy. We're right at condoning toxicity by not doing enough about it.
Well, so they think they are, right?
Well, they think they're doing stuff, but they're really not. Yeah. I mean, they're barely scratching the surface. And the reason we're so passionate about it is because we understand that what is condoned or what is left, what is not punished is actually condoned.
That's right.
So if you're a random player going into a solo queue game and then you see your teammate just hardcore flaming and doing all of these things, abusing and getting away with it, and it's a common occurrence game in, game out, they're likely to alter their actions and be toxic as well because they think, if this is what's out there, maybe, I can get away with it, or this is just the way it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. The key word there is likely. They're more likely. They might
not.
But they're more likely. Is there a way we can get it to less likely? Again, coming back to, okay, what happens if all that wasn't there? The toxicity.
Yeah, what would it look like? I mean, that's how I feel like it was in the back in the day. In season, yes, there was... people, I don't like hearing this because it feels like back in my day there was less toxicity and it just sounded like one of those boomers. But it just was the case. Toxicity actually was
really. Let me think.
Toxicity was rarer.
Yeah.
I mean, when someone flamed, it wasn't like it was a big deal, and you got punished for it. I swear to God, you got punished for it. There's a tribunal thing. They did the whole tribunal thing. Remember they did too extreme. The tribunal was banning everyone, dude.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Dude, I remember I think I got banned on one of my accounts.
Yeah. For doing what? It says when you get banned,
Oh,
right?
yeah, it was not good. I don't want
to... Okay, so the system could have maybe picked that stuff up.
It did pick it up.
Yeah.
And I got banned.
Yeah, but say if the
no
trial
way.
wasn't
No
done.
way I would get banned now
For what you said
saying,
that?
no
Really?
way.
So it's
No
gone
way.
backwards that much, you think?
Definitely. Dude, I used to see the stuff that are in my games that people can get away with. I mean, the only things that get flagged hardcore now are the racial comments.
Yeah.
Or, like, homophobic stuff, I think.
Yeah.
They're the ones that, like, really get flagged. But if you just, like, straight up abuse someone, like, not racially or like, what's the other one? Anything to do with gender and things like that, you don't really get affected. Anyway, the point is, and this, I just found this super interesting because then they tied this together with how environment influences decision making or decision making on a mass scale to a more specific case where they looked into the case of this guy who was a murderer. I believe he murdered 4 people on a train. And they looked back, people saying, oh, what an awful crime. This guy's just an outcast. He has poor morals. And, he was just like a psycho guy. He's just going to kill these people inevitably. But then when you look back at his childhood and you look back at his environment as a kid growing up, like he got abused by his dad, alcoholic dad, drugs were in his family, got just a terrible upbringing and a terrible situation. He is the result of his environment.
So it's basically he was bound to...
I mean, he's bound to, yeah.
He was set up for... He was going to murder people
He's set up
anyway.
for failure. Regardless of where it was or who it was or the situation or the scenario, at some point he was going to flip and it was going to be at someone and there was going to be people harmed.
Yeah.
Because of his environment.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people like to say, and we see these people in solo queue, right? We think like, this guy, he's just a lost cause. This guy's just he's an outlier. This guy is completely like mentally insane. He's abusing people. He's losing the plot. He's whatever it is. But at the end of the day, that guy, and as we have known, these people usually have been brought up in incredibly bad environments. This is the result. This is the end result of the environment. And the thing is the solo queue experience is not helping these people at all. It's actually, if anything, making it worse. And there's a lot of these people that have had these rough upbringings and these rough environments, and then they go into solo queue. It's acting as like a catalyst.
So is this unrelated? So what about people that are having, let's say, grew up in better environments, and then they're entering solo queue, and then they're learning toxicity as well?
I think there's
there's 2 separate things there, right?
What do you think? Nathan, do you think that there are people that have had good upbringings?
Yeah, I think that it's been learned. Again, like this is the environment because it's like, well, especially, the younger you are, you like pick up like internet meme culture really quick. It's like...
We see it in young kids now.
Yeah. So I think that the toxicity thing is definitely learned. It's learned behavior again because everyone's getting away with everything. And I guess those type of people, right, that have like the... let's say they're entering solo queue already with this and then that's amplifying it even more, then that's,
it's shocking.
That's going to be a mess.
And I think this is what Riot need to really understand here. They need to read that book that Swagner linked, this Malcolm Gladwell book. I think it was called Blink. I have to hit him up after. Swagner, if you're in the comments, drop it in the comments. Be a lad. But I mean, what they need to understand is that Riot are affecting...
They're letting so much slide.
They're affecting potentially millions of people's lives. Because we know there are kids or people out there that are spending hours and hours and hours in solo queue, right? We're talking thousands of hours, okay? That is, regardless or not, yes, it's not a real environment, like physically around you, but you're immersed. You're essentially, it is your environment in a way.
I think there's no question whether it's a digital environment or thing. You're seeing things, you're hearing things, you're emotionally getting involved, like you're interacting with this environment.
And this affects more than just the in-game, your in-game mood or your in-game action. This affects or has a potential flow-on effect to out-of-game. If you can get away with this, or this is what you're surrounded with day in, day out within your solo queue, what does that condone? Or what does that mean for when you're in other situations? I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've seen. I mean, I don't think we're going to see the repercussions of this
immediately.
Now,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a few, 5, 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah.
When the kids now that are very young, up and coming through this.
Yeah.
If we don't see immediate change, and this ties back to the role models thing. I believe the only way, well, not the only way, I say one of the key ways that we have to influence this is through role models, having great role models in the industry, in the gaming industry. And yeah, it just got me thinking, environment and how effective the environment is. And we'll touch back on this. Is there anything you wanted to add on to this, Nathan? I mean, actually, lastly, with you're a bit of an odd case because
I'm an odd case.
The environment hadn't really affected you in a very big way.
Well, I was influenced. I was like that.
In the WoW?
Tell me
about the WoW
in my World of Warcraft era, because again, my environment was, my arena partners that I was playing with, so this is like the competitive scene of, WoW, like the PvP section, not the PvE section. These guys were, I played with a bunch of like people that, I mean, there wasn't really toxicity in the same way, but they definitely had some aspects. Like I was just like, I climbed the ranks and I became this like really cocky kid, right? And then, because I was so young and I was playing like these Americans and stuff, and we were doing really well on the ladder. And then I had, I believed my own hype, and like I had such painful experiences there. I just understood that the way my mental was, or my ego, it was not helping me get to the next level. So I literally I reverse engineered it and be like, okay, I can't do this to get better.
Were you doing this while in WoW?
Yeah, while in WoW.
Oh, so that's why I never translated. Mentality in WoW.
Yeah, it was towards the end of WoW, because I met these guys that I was arenaing with, and they told me like you're actually not good. Okay, yeah. They broke me down and said, this is why. This is, you've got like a lot to work on here, and like you tilt really easily. Like if you start playing bad, that affects us. And then I started figuring how much like I even had an effect on my teammates.
That was the discussions you had with these people in WoW.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
I was like, I would have been 14, 13.
Well, you were like in high school, right?
In high school, yeah, year 9. So yeah,
year 9,
14, 15. Yeah.
Wow, So would you say that there's definitely a positive element to this in a way?
Yeah. So I mean, because so it
was a negative transition type thing.
I was in a pressure cooker, right? Like I had huge expectations for myself, and I was good, but there was people that were around me that were much better. I didn't understand the next step.
Right.
And then I realized I had all these mental blocks and invisible narratives, like we talk about in the podcast. Yeah. And then
you weren't even aware of them.
No, I wasn't aware of them at all, because I was so blinded by my ego. I didn't even know what that would mean. It's like, I'll just be saying, no, just play better. Like, I'm just better than you and that sort of stuff,
So did you put down other people around you?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely did. Yeah. Yeah, I was like this guy's like a trash, like, because I was like a resto charm. I was like, no, dude, I'm so much better than this guy, and sort of stuff. And
right.
I'll say let's say, because sometimes you play against the same people all the time, and you'll start to like get beef and stuff with them. I mean, again, it's not to the extent that it's like League's just a different environment compared to that, because it's like you're really talking on, getting to know people. It's like a really more tight-knit community. But yeah, I'd say that again. I just simply always just said, it's like, okay, this is my behavior, these are my results, I have to change my behavior to get better results. That's as simple as this is just super, super simple for me, right? It's easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
Because, I had to really break down, my teammates actually kicked me at one point. That was my lowest point. They said, we're not playing with you anymore. And then I was like, holy shit, like, now I was like rock bottom, because I didn't have arena partners anymore. And these guys were the best players I've ever played with.
Yeah.
And then I had to go playing with other people, and we were struggling, dude, And then I realized, okay, it's actually a bit more about team, sort of stuff.
Interesting. So you had such an insane influence.
Yeah.
This was what gave you an advantage in League.
Yeah, I think that's literally, I mean, I would say, I think that's the reason I climbed so quickly, so well in League Legends.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone climb as fast as you ever.
Literally, like, wow, I was gold in League, bam, challenger in 2-3 weeks.
Wait, so you skipped Diamond, right? In the same season. You went straight from gold to challenger, didn't you?
Yeah, gold to challenger in season 3, yeah.
Wow, dude. That's like unheard of.
Well, I mean, yeah, right now, these days, probably not. Yeah, it's probably
no, but even back then.
Yeah, it was pretty rare back then as well.
Usually, again, most people went from Diamond.
All the challenger people, they were like Diamond.
They were Diamond before. Yeah, they were
NA.
Diamond in a. I mean, yeah. Yeah, you kind of really, really use. Okay, so tying this back to the environment thing though.
Yeah.
What were the biggest takeaways? Like thinking about the environment that you were influenced, because this was probably probably actually more of.
Well, because I guess I had role models. That's what it was.
Pure role models.
Yeah, I had role models.
Wow.
And then that's what helped, because I was in a better environment with them. And once that environment was taken away from me, I wanted to get back there so badly. You know?
Right.
Well, because then I understood the other side. It's like, I mean, we're just having terrible results. Like, I'm not even getting close to where I wanted to be.
Wow.
So then I translated that to league, and then I just mass responsibility.
So was this? So do you think you developed a growth mindset there?
I would say, yeah, definitely. I mean, I never would blame a teammate again. You know, like
so they beat you. So how did they do it? You know, you're saying how like they deconstructed why you weren't good at the game.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through that process because most people, when that happens, either they put their defense up and like they're like, fuck you, I'm actually better than you think I am, or they'll just ignore it. They won't actually internalize it. Or like they'll just completely lose all confidence, and they won't come back. You know what I mean? You know, we've done that to people before.
Yeah, that's right.
Where you can break them down.
That's
and
what I've done
explain
with
to
some
them
coaching clients. Yeah.
where you break them down so much that they lose so much confidence that they're just exploded. So what did they do specifically?
Well, so I'll say that's exactly what happened to me, but then I just bounced back. You know.
So they didn't do it correctly, but you just happened to be very resilient. Or that's your personality.
So. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just wanted to be the best so bad. You know, it sort of outweighed it. But I mean, man, I don't know. It's hard because it's so long ago. But this is the thing with the environment as well, is you don't actually know what's going on. Like that's actually the more thing. Like, and it's very hard for me to think. I just can't say what happened. You know, like I just learned this. I don't know how. But like looking back, it's like, okay, well, I had people I looked up to, and they were behaving in this way. You know, they were very good at the game, but they still had this growth mindset, wanted to learn. I was like, okay, I have a fixed mindset, and I think I'm the best.
Right.
So, but again, there was. I don't think there was much conversation going on about this, Curtis.
Yeah, no, there wasn't. But I think what would have happened with you, like, I mean, again, I don't know specifics here, but I'm assuming you saw what you were capable of because you were already kind of surrounding yourself with people that were better than you.
Yeah.
And like, they probably didn't immediately shut you down saying this isn't possible for you. They're probably saying, okay, this is why you're bad. And then you probably thought to yourself, well, if they can do it, like, why can't I?
Well, that's the exact conversation I had. That because I always thought before I entered because I was in a PvE environment for ages in WoW, right? Just doing raids and dungeons, right?
Yeah.
And then once we got to the PvP, I just thought that people like, you know that meme people say they're just built different?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was like, I can't, because I was like 12, 13. It's like, those guys are just on, like, they're just very good gamers. They're insane. And then it wasn't until I had
I do believe there is an element
success.
of, we talk about this, good gamers.
Yeah.
There are just good gamers.
Yeah, there is just good gamers.
Yeah. What is a good gamer? We and you kind of view them the same way. They're very intense. They're very elitist.
I think good gamers change. I think those people struggle now more days.
Yeah. No, I think it's game specific.
Because
I think those guys...
In league,
okay, let's first clarify what we both initially thought as a really good gamer.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, they're usually very cocky.
Yeah.
Very obsessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very elitist.
They play a shit ton.
They're like super confident.
Yeah.
And they theory craft their own stuff. They don't follow
That's right.
others.
They come up with their own stuff.
They come up with their own stuff.
Yeah.
And they're usually like quite nerdy.
Yeah.
And they're just very serious. They're not funny. They're very, very serious usually.
Yeah.
Intense.
Not funny. I love that set. They're just not funny.
They're not. I mean, those people, they don't have a sense of humor, dude. They're just so intense.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, a lot of the guys, yeah. No, there was some, yeah.
Some, but like, I mean, mostly, majority of them. Yeah.
Oh, and they're European as well.
Yeah,
wow,
Europeans are
always
good
Europeans.
gamers. I would think Europeans are just bloody good gamers, dude. Europeans are just...
Good
Europeans scare me, yeah, me too.
They intimidate me, dude.
Good Europeans, because they have this intensity.
Is it
comparatively
intensity?
It's in their culture comparatively to Americans. Americans like memers.
Yeah.
And it's even Aussies are so chill as well.
Yeah, very relaxed as well. Yeah, because I have respected no one in the Australian gaming community.
Yeah, no. But we're so chill. And you can't... yes, there were some outliers though. I mean, I think Fantix was a bit of an outlier.
Yeah.
Who else was an outlier in
OS?
In OS in terms of intensity? And like that good gamer. You think they're a good gamer?
Oh, well, you got to put Radier on there. What was the
Radier.
characteristic of Radier, dude? I mean, he dominated us for the longest period of time. He was
He's very...
But he controlled his emotions.
He's actually not what I would have assumed as a good gamer.
No.
For me anyway.
Yeah.
He was a different beast.
He was a machine, dude.
Yeah, he was just like a faker.
Yeah.
He's actually he's probably the closest to faker like personality wise.
Yeah.
Like there's no motion,
Yeah.
just play.
Yeah.
And good gamers, dude. I'm just thinking of great gamers.
You thinking of people just in general, like now
We think everywhere. I think Hillisang, for some reason.
Yeah.
I think that guy.
I don't know enough about him.
I don't know. This the vibe I get from that kid. Like I just think he's just. Yeah. I get that European, scary, intense gamer.
But there's so many of them. Like,
there's so many.
You
They're
put in
all good.
Bjerks and Jensen.
Yeah, they're all good.
They're all good, man.
So going back to your WoW.
So yeah, the thing I want to emphasize here is that the environment, I didn't know what was going on, and and this is the thing with League. It's like people are toxic and stuff but people don't know the repercussions of what's going on or how they're affecting other people.
No,
I didn't know that either until But I mean, I was very results. Like I didn't change for anyone else, but for me to get better results for myself.
That's
I guess it was selfish, right?
No, well, that's what it should
selfish?
be. No, that's just normal. That's what gaming is. It's just for you.
Okay.
You want to be the best you can be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm trying to get at here is that you obviously develop some form of growth mindset because you realize, okay, this is what I could be, but this is where I am now. What do I need to do to bridge the gap? That's what you somehow, you created that.
Yeah.
I never had that.
Yeah.
I never had a growth mindset.
No, you had a fixed mindset.
I was talented at games.
Yeah, you were talented at games.
I was toxic because I was talented.
Yeah.
I actually envy.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, if I had a fixed mindset, I would literally be. I'll probably still be gold or platinum in League of Legends right now.
Because I don't view you as a natural gamer.
No, I don't think I am at all.
At all.
Literally not.
That's why I disrespected you at school in gaming.
Yeah.
I disrespected everyone.
The only reason I was
every
good
game I play,
so
I'm good.
Yeah.
This is the way.
Yeah. You don't even need much time.
No, I don't need much time.
Yeah. I remember the first time. Yeah, I remember when you like barely played COD. The new COD came out in Black Ops. This is when we first like met each other, and I thought I was good at COD.
Yeah, I just dominate.
But you were like just dominating, like
godlike.
literally like 30 bombing and
no,
stuff.
I was going every game in COD. I was like 40 kills, 2 deaths,
and that
every game.
And I like that was pretty rare for me. Like I was like happy with like 20, but you're taking things to another level.
Oh yeah, everyone was like a bot to me.
Yeah.
That's why COD was so boring to me because I came from Counter Strike 1.6 and Source. So I was playing with elite Counter Strike FPS hardcore FPS gamers, right? Like because I'm the FPS background from Counter Strike. You're the WoW.
Yeah.
And I had just guys abusing me when I was younger. Mine was a pure, like, just abuse. Mine was toxic as hell, Counter-Strike community. And it was all elitist as hell. And, yeah, dude, I was just, it was a do or die. And I just played so much. I was just obsessed. And I didn't think about it. I was like, I'm either good or I'm bad. There's no, like, and I just happened to be good. I don't know why. And it wasn't even really, I didn't ever think this is where I want to be and this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
No, I am already up here,
best,
the best, because I had this insane ego because I knew that no one was as good as me at
Based
my
on
age.
yeah.
Because I was insanely good at 13, 14. I'm like, there's just no way. This is impossible.
Yeah.
No one could be as good as me.
Yeah.
But that was toxic because, I mean, I was just like elitist, but I didn't develop a growth mindset in any aspect of my life. School, no aspect was growth mindset. It wasn't until growth mindset until like 21, 22.
Yeah, to like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to develop a growth mindset.
But again, you developed that through environment, didn't you?
Pure environment, Jono, and just like reading and Shern. Shern was a big one for me because Shern exploded my brain, Shernfire.
Yeah.
And we speak about Shernfire a lot on these podcasts. But he actually defied all laws of like...
Good gamers in your mind. Yeah, that's right.
Him existing was like... Okay, that just debunks all of my narratives.
Yeah.
Like this guy who's trapped because he was like gold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was really bad at the game. He was gold and he was struggling in gold.
Yeah.
And then he slowly was climbing up. But he is not a good gamer.
Yeah.
Very slow clicking, no natural talent. Can't play the game well, fast, like reaction times terrible.
Yeah.
Like literally opposite of a good gamer. And then he started dominating Challenger, becoming the best player. And he came from Korea, getting rank 3 or rank 5 in Korea. I'm like, what the hell, man?
He was surprised. But Shern made sense to me.
Yeah, he would make sense to you.
Yeah.
Because you had that.
Because Shern would always be figuring out how to beat, but he'll be learning. He would understand that he wasn't that good, and he was just learning. Because that was the point in time. Remember that time where I guess I guess I fell into a fixed mindset in this specific time when I was ranked 2, you know, like I had 3 against top 10 or whatever. And Shern was just starting to climb the ranks, and I versed Shern like 6 times in a row, right?
Yeah.
And he did the same thing. I was playing Udia, he was playing Jarvan. I can't remember this so distinctly, all right? He watched my review, he went and looked up my VOD, right? And he knew the exact time that I'll go onto red.
So guys, to keep in mind, VOD reviewing back then was like unheard of. Shernfire was the first one to do VOD reviews in like Oceania.
Definitely.
Even probably in Western.
So VOD reviewing their solo queue.
No one VOD reviews solo queue. Everyone VOD reviews like scrims and
yeah.
shit, but no one VOD reviews solo queue. And, like even in Europe and in NA, no one did. This was in season 4?
3.
Season 3 or 4?
Oh, season 4, yeah.
Season 4.
Yeah. So then he and he kept on killing me in my red buff.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't accept that he was doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean I had a fixed mindset and thing because I think I had an ego because I thought I was like the best again. It's like because my Udia was so good, right? And like who's this Shern kid? Like he did it once, he won't do it again. Did it a second time, all right. Third time, okay. Now I'm getting pissed off, but I refuse to adapt my path though. Right, because I'm like, I'm gonna beat this guy. I'm gonna figure this out, and everything kept changing each game. It's like then the mid laner will roam, or he'll chunk me,
broke you down.
and he'll come back. He broke me down. That's when I tilted 1500 LP.
Yeah.
I went from 1000 LP challenger to Diamond 3. If you actually look at my my account for season 4, if you go on my OPGG Nathan Mott, and you look at it goes season 3 challenger, season 4 Diamond 3.
Really,
that was when I tilted. From 1000 to 1000 LP, I was literally 1000 LP, and then in season 5, I was back to challenger.
What the hell?
Yeah.
So you ruined your whole season.
Yeah. No, I had other accounts. I had 2 other accounts in 1K LP, but that was my main account.
Oh my God.
So I destroyed my main accounts, ELO and MMR.
Yeah, Shen was the reason.
So
that made sense to you then. So you actually saw it first.
Yeah, because then I was like, holy shit, this guy
reviewed his
this
games.
guy figured out how to beat me specifically, and he just did it perfectly.
That's super interesting because the players I respected were like King.
Yeah.
And King was pure natural talent. Again, all the players I respected were just pure, like Fantix.
FBI lost.
Fantix lost. FBI, like natural talent players.
Yeah.
That's the ones I respected the most. I didn't even think that any of these players that were good could even improve.
Yeah.
Like you're either bad or you're good.
You're good. That's right. See, that was the mindset,
that
was
my mindset.
You're
just like bad at games or you're good at games.
It's so fascinating.
It's so fascinating to think about.
It's like, and this is the thing as well.
I had no role models. 0.
This is the thing as well that I always see. It's like, someone in solo queue plays bad or whatever, and apparently they're just labeled bad forever. Apparently they can't get good.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Definitely.
Like it's like this guy.
I think we're changing that slowly for sure.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, for example, for me, right? Like I've recently climbing a lot in solo queue, right?
Yeah.
I was bad last season. Like I was struggling. Again, in terms of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
There's been some comments saying that we called Diamond. I was Diamond. I think I was bad. In my expectation, I was bad.
Yeah.
But yes, Diamond is good in general.
It is good across the board. Diamond is good.
You have the top 2%.
Yeah, top like 0.
But from me coming from season 3 challenge to struggling in Diamond, and I'm a full-time league player, content creator, right? I have high expectations of myself, so I was struggling in Diamond for all of last season. And now I'm just powering up like 200 LP Grandmaster, right? I was bad, and now I'm good. I get what people would review me as bad. The players that I was playing with, you know?
Yeah.
Again, I'm still getting there.
So this was interesting because I had a guy message me about this whole growth mindset, and he thinks that like one of the messages we're trying to get across, he thinks is super important, is about specifically within the growth mindset portion of it is not what you are now. It's more like what you can become.
Yeah.
That's the important bit. It's like what you can become.
That's the exact thing
it's
that
not what you are now, and it's not even. It's just like knowing or having the possibility in your mind that you can become that. Now, I want to share this story relating to this growth mindset.
Love it.
Okay, I'll read it out to you guys here.
Gets me excited.
So this was I'm just gonna read it. This was like a study done, a research.
Narration with Curtis.
In another
bedtime stories with Curtis.
In another study, researchers recruited 15 lifters. He had them train for 7 weeks and told them that the people who got the best results could be given free steroids. In those 7 weeks, the lifters put a combined total of 22 pounds on their bench, military press, seated press, and squat on average. Then 6 of the participants were selected at random to take part in the steroid trial. They were told that they were given 10 milligrams a day of Dianabol, which is like a steroid, but they were actually just taking placebo pills. They trained for another 4 weeks thinking they were on the steroids. In just 4 weeks, they put on a combined of around 100 pounds of those same 4 lifts, meaning their rate of progress probably increased almost 8-fold simply because they thought they were on steroids and thus expected to make much better progress. And I think the findings of the presently reviewed study reinforce this point that expectancy influences outcomes. Expectancy influences outcomes.
Right, so is that in a negative way or a positive way?
I mean, it can be both. This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
If you believe what is capable, if you can believe that you are what is capable, okay, let's just say there's two elements of this. This I think is absolutely fascinating. People always view like placebo to prove the point that like, look what is possible. If you just believe that you could lift heavier, or you just believe that you could be better than you were, or you could overcome these mental blocks, you could just be so much better or improve faster or more efficiently than where you were. But look at the flip side. If you believed that you did not deserve your rank, or you were worse than you were, or you actually believed that you were a bad gamer, whatever that means, you could be playing significantly worse than what you're capable of. It works both ways.
It does, doesn't it?
It's what you expect. And this is where the growth mindset is so fascinating to me. People say, oh yeah, psychology this, psychology that, nonsense this, nonsense that. You see this? It's like...
It's the perfect... I mean, I love experiments and stuff like that because it just proves stuff.
This is fascinating, dude. Like, so it just shows how many people out there who've just created this, like, there's so many things like, diamond, like, yeah, a diamond player is just different. Diamond player this, diamond player that. Like, they're so in their head about how difficult it is to become diamond that they're not a diamond player and that you got to be really talented to become a diamond player. Yes, that's true. You got to have a lot of skill to be a diamond player. There's a lot involved. You got to have a lot of champion mastery. You got to understand the game. But it's like, break it down. And if you can believe in your mind that I'm more than capable of achieving this, if I put in the effort, I put in the time, I get into the review, watch this Nathan's content, Curtis's content. That's what is important. It's the what if. It's the what if.
What if I do all these things? What if I... But it's part of the growth mindset as well, Curtis, is like, again, that's why I say sometimes the result. Because you might not get the result.
That's correct. You might not.
And that's the point of the growth mindset.
Well, I don't know, man. I think it's just like, I love that. It ties back to that Kobe Bryant quote. It's like, it's only failure if you give up.
Yeah.
If you stop.
Yeah. Some people do need to give up though, Curtis.
That's true.
I
mean, we actually probably need to talk about that more.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that just don't have it. But let's be realistic here, Nathan. What percentage of people, in your experiences, have given their absolute all? They've done the reviews, they got into the work, they've really worked on their mindset, and they're just incapable. They're incapable of reaching diamond. Their life is on the line, they're incapable of it.
Yeah, I'd say...
What percentage?
I'd say I've never met someone that's doing all they could possibly do.
Okay, let's not even say that. Let's even say if someone was doing 85%.
85%.
I believe it's because saying all they can do is very unrealistic.
Yeah,
because it's like,
there's always something you could do.
A job in their life.
Yeah.
Let's say 80% or even 80%. Even if they were giving 80%. In my experiences, I don't think I've met a player that I truly believe that even if they were giving 80% could not reach diamond. The interesting thing, because I've seen it, I've seen people that have been stuck in silver for seasons climb to platinum. I've seen people stuck in gold for 5 seasons get to diamond. I've seen it all. I mean, and that's why I'm so passionate about this growth mindset. You might be right, Nathan. There are some pro players out there that,
So you're pretty set on like pretty much anyone with enough effort can get to diamond 4.
I'm not going to say anyone, but I would say the large majority. I would say over 90%.
Yeah.
Unless like you have like a physical like problem, like maybe you're like, you have some form of like problem with your eyes, or like your reaction times are like you have some medical condition, or maybe you have some mental, like some problem, like you have like a something that prevents you from staying focused for a long period of time, something like that. Unless you have something that I truly do believe that even like, you know, I reckon as well, if you got a 30-year-old guy who had never played League before, I'm pretty confident I could teach a 30-year-old guy who's never played League before from scratch to get to Diamond within 2 years.
And what would his effort have to be?
You know, he has to put in a lot of hours, obviously. Yeah. You have to put in like, you know, a good like 4 hours a day at least. Yeah. 4 or 5 hours.
Like if you just sat one-on-one with him for that 2 years.
Yeah.
Probably, I reckon you could do it in probably sooner.
Sooner.
Maybe 2 years is pretty good. You're probably right. I mean, I would say when I say...
But it's like, if that is possible...
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting off topic here, but I mean, what's your problems with this growth mindset? Seems like you're a little bit hesitant here. What are you worried about? What are you scared of?
No, growth mindset is great.
Well, let's talk about how to develop it then.
Yeah, how to develop it.
How the average person, how do we? Because I don't even believe it. How it's like this. I don't believe that you either have one or you don't.
Yeah.
I think there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Because I think you can have a growth mindset in certain areas of your life and others you don't. I believe you've had the same.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
You've had the same with gymming and stuff like that. Yeah.
Which is now changing.
Slowly.
Yeah.
It's slowly changing. With you in League, you had a growth mindset.
Yeah.
But gym,
even at times, I didn't have a growth mindset in League. When I was believing my own hype. And then every time that I've developed a growth mindset is when I've like hit rock bottom in a way, you know? Because it's like there's no alternative. It's either you have two options. It's either a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And I knew what a fixed mindset was. Like, well, I got to experiment with this growth mindset stuff.
Well, because this fixed mindset isn't working.
Yeah, I just got to do the opposite and see how it goes. I might as well try. I'm not going to get any better anyway.
So what does a growth mindset look like then? How do you know if someone has a growth mindset or not?
Yeah, it's definitely a buzzword potentially.
It is a bit of a buzzword.
Yeah, I mean, these are the words that I come to. Taking responsibility. Learn everything. You're trying to absorb everything and trying to apply it to your... How can I learn more? Seeking information from people that even potentially might be worse than you. Those are the two things that ring a bell.
I just think when I look at growth mindset, it's like, does this person... Is he like... Is he saying, why can't I? Or is he saying, why can I?
Yeah, okay, that's
like, so rather than this didn't work...
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
Why didn't this work?
Why didn't it work? Yeah.
Like trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
Like going deep and trying to figure out why of like all the differing situations and like, yeah, just questions, just asking questions, a lot of questions.
So I guess fixed mindset's more like coming up with an excuse and be like, okay, I'm gold. This is why I'm gold.
Yeah, it's the reason why you're gold.
Versus this is the reason why I'm not diamond.
Yeah. Yeah, right. It's like cup half full versus cup half empty in a way. And generally you hear people with a fixed mindset say, well, they don't want to get into the review. Or if something happens in the review, they'll look for things that are out of their control. They won't... Are you looking for the things that were out of your control, or you were looking for the things that were in your control? Because it feels good to look at the things that were out of your control. Like, look at here, my jungler just did this.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Or, okay, my jungler did this. Did I contribute to that in any way? Why was my wave here? Why did the enemy have tempo over me? Could I have done this? Or
what happened 4 minutes later that could have affected this? I mean, 4 minutes ago.
Or just being willing to accept, all right, that's out of my control. Cool, that happened. What was the areas that were in my control? How could I have optimized them? What results did that lead to?
It's interesting. There's actually some people that that would label themselves, and I think have aspects of, you know, having a growth mindset. And they gravitate towards that sort of stuff a lot.
What do you mean, sorry?
Of the stuff like out of their control, like, this or this is my team.
Well, it's fine to identify if it's out of your control, but it's just let it go.
You can't focus on it.
You just don't focus on it. You know, it ties into a thing. I love getting, I actually like getting beaten.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. I like getting beaten. I like it's satisfying to me to get into the review and know why I lost.
Oh, yeah, that's a great feeling.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because I had this really frustrating game the other night, right? And I was actually thinking about it all night.
Yeah.
like while in the shower. So I got off the computer. I was thinking, I'm like, and then I like went back onto the computer and like went through the review, like just went through. I'm like, okay, this makes so much sense now. All right, I'm actually just not trash at Echo. Not really bad at Echo. That was just like, it makes sense why that happened. And it just made me feel better about myself.
Better. It does, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense. You know, when you like get very specific about what led to what, I just find that very interesting. But yeah, what was the other thing we're talking about? Talking about the growth mindset.
Growth mindset. Well, I mean, environment was the theme of this podcast, Curtis.
Right. Oh, there was something else I wanted to talk about with the growth mindset. I was talking about.
Is there an environment you can get into that helps develop a growth mindset?
I think your friends is a big one.
Yeah.
Your friendship group, who you play games with, and the language that they use. I mean, you know, it's fine to dick around with your friends and play.
Yeah, you have fun here and there.
Have fun. Yeah, it's fine. That's what the game's for. But you just, as long as you're aware of the influence that it's actually having onto you, you know. Sometimes.
Well, again, for me, Curtis, I think that was everything for me developing a growth mindset. It was the people I surround myself with.
Yeah.
So I think environment is very crucial.
Yeah, it is actually.
Okay, it's the people I surround myself and the people I decided not to surround myself with, because I was the opposite. I mean, I was very isolated. I didn't really have many friends growing up and stuff like that. Like, even the friends that I did have, it's not like I was, there talking all the time. I was very much on my own. So it's actually the people I didn't choose to associate with as well when I was growing up that also helped me develop the growth mindset, because I wasn't in that whole fixed mindset.
So do you have a growth mindset in real life?
In real life compared to league?
Yeah, just think of aspects in your life.
I would say
do you think you could get better at like anything? Like you could just like pick up something and get better at it?
Yeah.
Like cooking or gym and whatever?
Well, I mean, because you would have to say so. I mean, I grew Dial's business, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just asking.
I would like to think so,
Okay.
But I'd like to also think that...
How do you view gym right now? You know how we're talking about on a scale?
Yeah.
From like 0 being a fixed mindset, and then like progressively becoming more growth mindset.
Well, I definitely know that effort, because people have done it before, right? Like I joke about it sometimes, saying like, "Where's my noob gains, Curtis?"
Yeah.
It's like I'm not seeing anything. It's like sort of a meme, but sort of not it as well. It's like part of me also thinks it's like I think I'm just going to give up after 2 months as well. So it's like there's no point,
So you still think that?
Yeah.
You still think you're going to give up?
Yeah. Well, it's like frail, because it's like,
yeah, it's not. It's you think you haven't done it long enough.
Yeah, because like I'm still reliant on you.
Yeah. Until you get your own results.
Yeah.
That you're happy with.
Yeah.
You're not going to be sufficiently motivated without
That's correct.
me.
Yeah.
But once you see the results for yourself, you're just going to go no matter what.
And it's not until I'm really happy, just like be free, that type of stuff.
Gotcha.
Like, then I'll be like, okay, I have a really growth mindset towards this. And then I'll look to push the next level.
So,
but Curtis, you can't have just a growth mindset in league and not in real life. I don't think that's the case.
I think you can, dude.
Really?
Okay, let's view it like this.
Because we understand the respect that we have for getting good at your craft, right? So then you can just apply that to all aspects.
Yeah, but again, I think there's levels to it, because think about, again, tying back to the environment. You may have been raised in an environment where like, you were say you were raised in a very sport oriented household, or very gym health oriented household, where your dad may have been a athlete, your older brother's an athlete, your mum's very fit and healthy, that sort of thing. Would have been raised, or maybe, and you hit the jackpot with physically. Yeah. You were tall, you were naturally strong, you put on muscle very easily. You just hit the genetic lottery. I mean, you may think, you might have this approach to fitness, saying, in terms of health and fitness, I'm just lucky. That's just me. I look the way I am and feel the way I am because I'm just like good genetics. So
environment.
And environment, yeah, okay. But then you compare that. Maybe he goes into league and he's terrible at league, and eventually he kind of has a fixed mindset. And maybe through our content, he develops a growth mindset, whether it's your community, your Soul 2 community, or my community, and he develops a growth mindset. He still may believe. I mean, a part of me thinks that there are people out there that can have areas of their life where like they truly believe they have a fixed mindset.
Well, I think that in that scenario, they wouldn't care much about it. I think that's what it is. It's like let's say if the only thing, let's say that humans, like, there's no such thing as jobs like league, video games, diet, all that sort of stuff, right? And like you would only be able to your value or whatever is all based on how strong you are in the gym. Like, I would figure that out because it was really important. You know what I mean?
It's just not important to him. Yeah.
Because like gym's never been that important to me in a way.
Yeah.
It's starting to become more important. I'm understanding that.
Yeah, but maybe there are things out there that you just don't have suffice. Like maybe you're just so not confident with it, dude.
Yeah.
Like I could easily see someone who just really.
Okay, if I was to start doing ballet or some dancing, I would have a fixed mindset.
Exactly, because you're just there's like zero talent. You have no role. You have no one to help.
But I wouldn't care about it. Again, isn't that part of it as well?
I don't know, man. Anyway, I wanted to switch it up here.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about mental health a bit.
Okay.
So you guys watching this, follow Nathan's content, my content, you may look at us and you may think like, oh wow, these guys, like they got their shit together. They're always confident and happy all the time. You know, they're
the best of friends.
Best friends, all this shit. I mean, I would say we don't really have I don't think we have any arguments. That's one thing we're pretty good with.
We're pretty aligned on a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't think
we
have disagreements, but I wouldn't say we have arguments.
No.
But I mean, I'll be honest. I wanted to share this on the podcast. It was yesterday. I had a shocking day.
It was not a good day for you.
I had a shocking day, and you said, and I just wanted to share this because I don't want people to have an unrealistic expectation or view me in a certain way. Like, he's just special or he's just unique.
He's pumping out, because everyone always says it's like, man, this guy's work ethic's insane. Like, because you know how many videos you put out.
Yeah.
People I think that people admire you for that.
Yeah.
But that's very difficult for you.
Oh, it's so hard.
Like watching you create a video.
It's the most painful thing.
It's like you guys don't want to do that, honestly. No. Curtis is coming up me saying, Nathan, I'm doing it this way. It's an extra day. Like I got to get this video out the next day. It's not a happy process.
Pretty.
It's not pretty.
Because my expectation of myself is so high, it's borderline toxic.
Yeah.
Being in my head for a day would drive many of you guys crazy.
Yeah.
And that sounds that sounds very egotistical to say.
Yeah.
Not in a good way. It's just like, with my mind, I wake up every day thinking, because Nathan's so chill.
Yeah.
I admire Nathan so much because Nathan is like the definition of present, relax, and just chill.
Relax, man.
He enjoys like life in the present. I try to.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, just the way I am, I'm like, this is where I am. And this is where I want to be in terms of the version of Curtis I want to be. And I always wake up every morning, I'm like, Curtis, you're not even fucking close. Get your shit together. You think you're good. You're actually just a piece of shit. Get your shit sorted.
It's a very negative self-talk.
It is. Like, that's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Because my expectations of myself are so high. A great day, like sometimes I have a great day and I'm pretty happy. But even then, I know in back my mind,
it could have been so much
I have to do this every day, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
And it's just it's not sustainable, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
You just can't have those days every single day.
Yeah.
And I had one of those days yesterday where like there was so much pressure built up. There's so many things. I was just angry, and I came home and I was just pissed off, dude. I was just so broken down. I felt low self-esteem, low confidence. I mean, just questioning myself, questioning who I am, questioning what the fuck I'm doing. Just like. Yeah, just like...
It's definitely the worst I've seen you this year.
I think that's the worst I've been in a long time.
Yeah, probably in a couple of years.
I think there were some really, really low points in 2018. I had some really low points in 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to give up in 2018, honestly.
Yeah, that was brutal. And that's the funny thing. We won everything that year.
Yeah. Won everything that year, but I wanted to give up.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just share this, man. Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And I think that, like... And I want to share techniques, because I'm sure sometimes us... We all have bad days where we have times where we're feeling shit, we're down, depressed, we just don't want to do anything. Like, you know what I literally said to Nathan when I got home yesterday? I was like, I just want to get drunk and just like forget all my responsibilities.
Yeah, and absolutely do not do that, Curtis.
And Nathan said, you can't do that. Now this is where you got to power through. You got to like man up. You got to accept you have responsibilities. You got to stick with it. And this is the worst time to do that. And I think that one of the things I did, and this is one of the biggest pieces of advice I'll give people who are feeling shit on those days. They have those days where really not up to anything. Clean your environment. Explain this one, Nathan.
Well, we can't explain it for some reason, but it just feels good to like. Okay, so. I mean,
what do we do
over the last week or so? We probably dropped the ball a little bit. Like our kitchen's starting to get pretty pretty filthy.
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
My room's hard to get dirty because everyone memes me on the podcast for not having any furniture in my room.
I think it does get dirty.
But it does. Like dust and stuff, right?
They don't see,
just because I have no furniture.
No, but they don't see the other angle. They don't see your desk. It gets dirty and all the shit around it.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I know, but like, you know.
Yeah, like it could be so much cleaner, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, just like what I did was like, I just cleaned the whole kitchen, right? And like, there's something feel after it. It's like,
there's a feeling.
It makes you feel better. Okay, I think there's two aspects of it.
The reason I bring this is the
accomplishment. The accomplishment of doing that, because I mean, it's not that easy, you know?
It's like a direct result.
It's a result. So it's like, I did this and this is a result and this is clean. So then now I want every other aspect of my environment to be clean. So then I would start cleaning other things like, you know, my desk, my bathroom, you know, other parts of the house, putting things in order, putting things away. And like, you get into this like zone of like everything. It's like exactly going back to, the story of the New York thing. It's like, if anything was out of place in the house, I'm now fixing. But before, this could be out of place. Doesn't matter if this is out of place because that's out of place type thing. And it was like so big. And it's like, you know, we woke up really early this morning and like we were like, you know, all excited and stuff. Because like, it's like you said when you woke up this morning, because you cleaned your room last night after, you know, you had your little bad day, right? And then you're like, Nathan, it feels so good to wake up. It's like, oh, it's just like this clean room, you know?
Everything was tidy. I cleaned my bathroom, cleaned my room. The kitchen's looking great. Like the environment I was within was first, yeah, like you said, it's the act of cleaning itself is very therapeutic.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of accomplishment and it's a great distraction and letting it out, like just anger. Letting out anger, venting. It's just a great way. Put on some music, just do it. And then yeah, the end result being in a clean environment, everything's neat, tidy.
It's like, this is the standard now.
This is my standard.
I got to have all the standards for everything else that I do now.
Yeah, I just think it's so important. Like, it's so important to have your way, first of all, of identifying when you need to address it. Because for me, I'm not good at addressing it. I don't think you're good at addressing it either.
Addressing what specifically?
Well,
when things start getting sloppy.
Well, that, but also when you're with your mentality.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to... Usually, I'm the one who, like, I try to keep you in order in a way when you drop the ball. Yeah. And then I try... You kind of do the same for me.
Yeah.
But it's like... This is where friends really come into play.
Yeah, very important.
Because it's hard to be objective about your mental state.
Like that's what I found as well. Like,
it's so easy to just fall into a trap.
It was so interesting actually. Before you know, you came back yesterday and you know, you're telling me about, you know, how shit your day was and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I actually came off the back of a really bad solo queue game that just really annoyed me. Like, I played pretty well, but like I could have played better. But like I starting to go sort of negative emotionally, but I wasn't off the Richter scale, right? Like I didn't really go completely off the Richter scale. I was like, okay, let's move on to the next game. But like, and then I spoke to you, right? And then I was like giving you all this advice, and then that made me have such a better mindset towards that game. And thinking back now, it's like, why was I doing that? Why was I so angry about that game? It's like, I made obvious mistakes. It made sense.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even have been going off track at all, you know? Like, cause like, I mean, I had like a pretty good win streak, and then like that one sort of took me off track a little bit. And then having that conversation with you, giving you advice, I need to follow the own advice that I give you, you know? And sometimes we're actually bad at following our own advice.
We are.
You know?
That's why you need someone to hold you. You need someone else there with you to hold yourself accountable.
Hold you accountable, but what I'm also saying is...
Call you out.
To you give them the advice. It's like the... you don't fully understand something until you teach it, right? Like, it's like your teacher's like, oh, okay. So I'm telling...
Well, it's like, no, you can't teach something unless you fully understand it.
Yeah.
That's what the actual quote is.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's the same thing as well. It works inversely as well. It's like, if you have someone around that you can try and help, then it suddenly be like, okay, well, you know, I'm giving this advice here. It's like, oh, wait, I should be doing this as well.
And I think one of the things you told me, for me, I think like many of you guys out there probably feel like this sometimes. Sometimes you feel like we all have our differences. We all have things that make us unique. Whether it's the music you're into, the movies you're into, you play games,
the way you dress,
just we're all unique in our own way. And I think nowadays for me, like, it's so easy to fall into a trap of comparing. And for me, I don't really compare anything to with my work. Like, I'm pretty good with not comparing my work to other people. It's more about outsiders. Like, sometimes I feel so like I'm on another planet. Like, I feel like I walk outside and I don't resonate with people. Like, I feel like I'm in my world. I'm in my domain when I'm with League, helping people, coaching, making videos, talking to you, watching my movies, my music. Like, I'm in my own world.
But when you go into the real world...
Yeah, when I go out there and I have to associate or socialize with people, it's like, it can be overwhelming for me because I just realize how fucking weird I am. Like, I'm in my own world. I don't even check the news. I don't even know what's going on outside. Like, people talk about, like, soccer, the sports, or they talk about politics or whatever. I know nothing because I'm so obsessed about League. And it makes me feel very isolated. And one thing people don't realize about us, we've made so many sacrifices to do what we do now. Like, socially, and just we're so weird. We don't...
Oh, incredibly strange.
We're so weird, Nathan. Like, we just spend our time doing this podcast. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. Talking to a bunch of people on the internet we've never met before.
Like, and it became... I actually get overwhelmed. Like, I had like a... I wouldn't... It was kind of like a... What would you call it? Like, not an anxiety attack. Like a... I don't know, dude.
An existential crisis.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
It wasn't an existential crisis. I'm going to say I just had a really rough day and I didn't deal well with it.
Yeah.
So, again, I just wanted to bring this up to remind people that it's okay. We have bad days, myself included. I may, on the surface, seem like this very well put together guy. I battle every single day to do what I do. It's not easy. And I know I may make it seem easy at times, but I mean, that's why I'm so passionate about League and mental health, is because I deal with my mental health problems and my mental state and everything just as much as you guys. So yeah, I just want to put that out there because I just didn't feel comfortable people viewing me that way. And just tying back to that environment thing with cleaning, keeping your room tidy.
Well, you've actually, now that I think of it, you've sort of shared this before as well, in terms of your solo queue journey, Curtis. Last season. I always say last year, but it was this year. Curtis, you remember you were like around 100, 200 LP master, right? Yeah. You had probably there's no way you would have thought you would finish the season top 10 challenger.
No.
You just put in the work and did the growth mindset towards that. You shared that in the video. You said the biggest one. Didn't you make a video about it? It's
yeah,
like
I did.
What helped me get from 200 LP to 800
I did a
LP?
video on that.
Isn't that such a good example as well?
Yeah, that's true. That was a good video, actually.
Like, even all these people in solo queue, remember, Curtis, all the OPL players, pro players were saying, this guy's just trash. Curtis sucks, man. Like, he sucks. And then they started respecting you when you got high elo. Yeah. But as a perfect example, you were, quote unquote, again, bad in comparison to pro players, or where Curtis used to be. And then he was just dominating. But that just doesn't happen overnight. You struggled, dude. You had a champion pool crisis. You were telling me, Nathan, I was trying Victor, like, this doesn't work. Yeah. Like, oh, now I'm just going to go back. And then you realized, you owned your identity and uniqueness as an Oriana player.
Yeah, and that's all in on it. That was before Oriana was good as well. Yeah. And then Oriana became meta.
And this is the same thing you should do in real life as well. You know, that's what I said.
Own your uniqueness. Own my uniqueness. Yeah. Like, all in on your identity as a person.
Yeah.
I actually haven't thought about that before.
That's the perfect analogy, Curtis.
Identity in real life. You have an identity.
Yeah, you have
literally, that's where it came from.
You have a champion identity in real life.
Yeah, I mean, I have an identity as Curtis. You know? That's so cool. I don't think about that enough. That's something I need to think about more. Like, what is my identity?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love how League has so many parallels to real life.
Absolutely, guys. This is why we love the game.
All right, do you want to get into the
Q&A
mailbag?
Nathan's mailbag. Questions and answers, BBC Q&A. Nathan's mailbag. All right, we'll be back in just a jiffy, everyone. Just a jiffy. All right, we're back with Nathan's mailbag. Curtis playing guitar again.
No, not today.
Curtis is not today.
I've been practicing.
Curtis is to what is it? To because you failed last time, didn't you? You didn't fully play it, so you're scarred. That's the word. All right, so first question here. Oh, by the way, like honestly, I need to shout out to people who are sending questions. Like the questions that we get, like the questions we're going to go through today,
Really good. I'm excited.
and they're so relevant to what we've just spoken about.
Wow.
It's like they like read our minds what we're going to talk about.
Nice.
We don't even know what we're going to talk about for the episode.
Yeah.
It's just it all coincides. It's like fate. Keep sending questions, guys. These are just I love it. I love these questions. All right, so the first one here. This is from Ben. Hey Nathan and Curtis, been loving your podcast and hope to be around for all 1,000 episodes. That'll be pretty cool if you are. We hope we're around for all 1,000 episodes.
Hope I'm alive.
Hope we're alive. My question stems from a friend of mine who in Season 10 played around 1,500 solo queue games and finished Silver 1. Basically going back and forth between high and low silver the entire season. I've tried to help him with thinking about his own mistakes and ways he could improve, but no matter what I say or how many games he plays, he just continues to shift blame on his teammates being the reason he can't climb. Any advice for how to help someone like this? He mained Yi set jungle if that means anything. Thanks. So this is a guy who wants to help his friend. He's seen, I think, some potentially self-destructive behavior. I mean, the title of the email is called Helping a Friend Who is Stuck Blaming Teammates.
That's a pretty desperate situation, that's for sure.
What a good friend, Ben.
Yeah, you're a good friend.
Absolutely. This is awesome. You're trying to help this guy
1,500 games in silver is impressive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of games.
So he goes from silver. He finished silver 1, but he goes back and forth between like silver 1, silver 4 the entire season.
Imagine how much pain that guy's in, like not getting gold. Like,
yeah.
He's so close.
Yeah.
And he's been there for so long.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's going to break you, man.
Yeah, dude. That's not good for your mental health. All right. How would you tackle this, Nathan? Where would you start?
Well, he's tried to help him by telling him. So obviously he doesn't fully aware of the consequence of blaming his teammates and not taking responsibility. So I feel like that any traditional way of telling him, hey, just don't do this, isn't going to work. So I need to find an alternative here.
I don't think you're going to be able to be like, I mean, because what you would do in reality, if we're going to be very like pragmatic, is like look at a death and then write down what was going wrong here. Was it be specific with why that death came about? And then you would see the trends. And then once you see the trends, then you could like hone in on like what those things were. But, cause like, I mean, if you're in silver, we're talking that you either have basic champion mastery problems, like you don't understand the identity of your champion. You're dying because you're likely dying a lot when you don't need to. Because in silver, remember, you're playing a loser's game, not a winner's game.
That's right.
You don't need to do anything special. You just need to do your job. If you just literally full cleared twice as Yi without dying to anything random, you're probably going to win that game. Honestly, Nathan. Would you aware of that, Nathan?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not that simple.
Well, not simple,
But as long as you're strong and you're waiting for the enemy teams to just mess up, they will mess up, you'll capitalize, you'll get a triple or a quadra kill or something like that.
Yeah, and the thing with Yi as well, it's very obvious what you're good and not good against.
Mm.
You're not good against CC. You're good against emo, or you're good against low CC. So you wait, you identify the key threats on the enemy team, and you take very calculated fights, and you value your farm very highly. You will win games. But obviously, like you said, this is likely some form of fixed mindset problem or mentality problem or the way he views the game. I mean, I think he needs to start asking higher quality questions. Okay? And like you said, you know how Nathan was saying, why rather than why I'm in silver, ask why I'm not in gold. Okay. Now the first thing he's probably going to say is because my teammates.
No, I think he should aim way high. It's like why am I not a diamond player?
Okay.
Or even challenge. You could even say look at some challenger.
Why?
It's just a cute, interesting question. Yeah, that's not meant to say you want to be a challenger player or you can be, but it's like, what are they doing differently? What's going on? Oh, okay, they're using their Q this way.
I mean, okay, let's actually first break down why it can't be possible that it's your teammate's fault.
Okay.
Let's just be very logical here.
Okay.
Okay. The way matchmaking works, like I said, majority of the time it's going to be 30, 30, 40. But at lower elo, it can even be more so. You can have way more wins because of how lower quality the games are. And you can actually hardcore carry games. But let's just say you have a guy who's in your eyes like a terrible teammate who's just lost you the game. What are the chances that the enemy team doesn't have one either? What are the, like? Why is it that your team, out of these thousands of games, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games, your team for some reason has way more of them than the enemy team? Yeah. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's essentially what he's saying.
So the only possible reason, if that would have been the case, you are that guy. You are the person that is single-handedly losing the game for your team. You are that guy. And until you realize that, you're not going anywhere. You are the sole reason you are in silver. No one else. Yes, there may be the odd game, the 30% of games where it's... I don't even like saying this because it's like toxic, gives people an excuse, like 30% of games where you're just going to auto lose, because then people say every game's an auto lose. Yeah. Like they don't know what an auto loss is.
30% all the time.
No, the 30% are you play like basically flawlessly and you still lose. You're not playing anywhere near flawlessly, and that's fine. Yeah. But you need to understand that it's all on you. You are the sole reason you are in silver and no one else.
At the end of the day, you can also bring it back to as well. There's Yi players who are in Diamond, Yi one tricks.
That's correct.
They face the same parameters as you, unless you think somehow you face different parameters.
For some reason, Riot is targeting this guy. Yeah. For some reason, Riot, there's a guy, around the boardroom table. Manually. This guy, Ben's friend here, let's actually just ruin this guy's league experience. Let's make him so miserable. Let's make him quit. I reckon that's a good strategy. That way we get the most money out of that guy. He's going to spend a lot of money on the game, isn't he? It's just impossible.
We want people to not play our game. Yeah.
Ben's friend, you need to understand that your decision or your thought process is borderline delusional at this point in time. Okay. Now, hopefully now now this can add a little bit of context here. So we understand that what you're saying makes no logical sense. There's no logical reasoning as to why is your teammate. You can't create a reason as to why is your teammate's fault. So cool. You may ask, all right, if it's my fault, what am I doing wrong? Then, like I said, go to every single death or every single unfortunate situation in the game and ask yourself, how did I contribute to this situation? What could I have foreseen in this play? How could I have known beforehand to see if this was going to be a good or bad fight? Simple. Did you need to pan your camera before to see the fight? Could you have looked at the minimap before to see if your teammates were in there? Could you have looked at the wards or see what wards or lack of wards that you had to dictate how risky this fight was? Were you on your power spike? Were you sitting on 1,500 gold going through this fight? Did you even need to take this fight? Ask yourself these questions. Really get into the nitty gritty about why you are dying. How are you contributing to these situations? Every single death. You only need to look at the first 3 deaths of every game, and I can guarantee you're going to see the trends. You're either not looking at the minimap, you're either fighting on 1,500 gold, you're taking really risky fights where you don't know where anyone's location is, you're skipping camps to go for fights or ganks that are just never going to work, hoping that it's not warded. Just really coin flip behavior.
It is.
Very simple stuff.
Yep. So get into the reviews. Like, Ben, what you should do is you go into a review with him.
Go with him.
Go with him. Because you say here, you help him think about his own mistakes. Not thinking, look at them.
Even if you know nothing about jungle, Ben, I guarantee you'll look at it and be like, this makes so much sense why this is bad, like why you're dying.
You know what? He will be able to as well. Usually in reviews, people can actually see it themselves. Sometimes in a game, I can't see it, but when I review, it's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense.
And that's going to lift the weights off his shoulder. He's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense. Wow, I actually really did fuck up this game, and it's actually not to do with my teammates at all. It's actually me. I didn't have to die here.
A quick tip here. This is a very mechanical thing, but this is what I see in lower elo silver players. Yi players. You might already do this, but just in case you don't, always hold your Q as long as possible. So the best case scenario is you walk up and you auto attack, and only Q once they've flashed or use a gap closer.
That's your gap closer. Your Q is your gap closer, is he?
That's right. So never start a gank with Q. Always start ganks with auto attacks unless you have to start a gank with Q, but that's very rare. Sometimes you shouldn't take ganks if you're forced to start with Q.
It's probably not a good gank then.
Yeah, it's not a good gank.
Because you're probably not going to kill them.
Yeah. That's a quick mechanical tip for you for Yi.
Yeah.
And set jungle is very difficult. in lower.
Yeah, it's
like,
not what I would recommend.
I would not recommend you playing set jungle.
Very
to be
hard.
honest.
Because you just get outscaled so far,
Yeah.
and your clear's not that good, right?
Yeah, your clears. You can't do raptors.
Just play like
that well.
What would do some champions in Silver that you would recommend? Jungle champions to learn the game really well.
Go watch my content and watch
go to Nathan. Join Nathan Soltu. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, if he wants to climb, you can. If he wants some paid coaching, that will definitely help him.
Nathan, don't be bashful. This guy, if he joined Nathan Soltu, by the end of next year, he'll be platinum guaranteed.
That's big.
Okay, I know you don't want to say that, but I could guarantee
effort,
that.
You know, effort's gonna thing. But yes, if he really wants to improve, I can definitely help him. But if not, if he doesn't want to, pay for coaching and stuff like that,
What's your content, man? What's your content?
Play Hecarim. Play Hecarim.
What's your guide?
Watch my Hecarim guide. I've got some new Hecarim videos I just posted, and Eve is a little bit more difficult. But if you can figure out Eve, she's the best solo queue carry champion a lot elo in the game. All right.
I feel like Ben's friend's gonna hate me.
Oh yeah, you just gave me some cold
Roasting
hard
him.
truth. All right, next question here is so short, and this guy actually might view as this is like a bit of a troll question, but
Okay.
I've got to talk about this.
Yeah.
All right. It's literally like probably like 10 words.
Yeah.
How do I awaken my true self and ascend the ranks to the top? Okay, so it could be a bit of a meme question, but this is the thing here. This is a quote I love from Tim Grover that when he talked about like really good NBA players. I think he was talking about Kobe specifically. There's no such thing as beast mode. They're just beasts. There's no true self that's going to randomly come up and like, yes, I've unlocked my true self.
Yeah.
I'm going to ascend the ranks,
Yeah.
right? That's the way you ask this.
It's like boring as shit. It's meant to be so boring.
Well, it's boring, but also it's the way you actually climb solo queue is fixing you at your worst. So you can play at your best. Like your games at your best are very good. Like we know how to close it. You know how to close a game. A lot of people are pretty good at their best
when they play their best.
But it's the frequency of when they're at their worst, and it's trying to limit the amount that they're at their worst as much as possible, and on trying to get that when they're at their worst a little bit better.
No, because it ties into that thing, Nathan. What you're saying now is, even if you're not winning, as long as you're not like losing the game for your team.
Yeah.
You don't need to win the game for your team all the time. You just need to not lose the game for your team. There's a lot of games where you just need to stop dying and just literally go even, or just sit back under tower and relax.
Curtis, it's just reminded me of that. Doesn't that this book about golf or something? Something about average? Remember this thing? This guy studied...
No, I told you about it. That's where it's from.
What?
That's where most people's inconsistency comes from.
Yeah.
They only focus on improving their best, not their worst.
Not their worst.
So what actually happens,
Yeah.
so the way your performance should look like
Yeah.
is that you have a bell curve, right?
Yeah.
Where you have the y-axis is frequency, and then the x-axis is your level of play, right? So let's just say you're sitting at, let's just say 1500 MMR. So in the middle, that's like your most common level of play.
So sometimes you play at 1200,
Yes.
sometimes you play at 1800.
Exactly.
And that creates your 1500.
So it should be a nice little bell curve, and it
Yeah.
should look that.
Yeah.
But that's not what it looks like for most players. What it looks like for most players, or as they're improving, is that they only move the right-hand side. They increase their best, and maybe their best now is 2100. So they'll have those rare games where they play at a 2100 level, but they still have their worst games at a 1500 level. That still exists. And then what happens, they go from one game, literally going 0-8 playing at a 1500 level, and then one game where they're going like 13-0, and that actually confuses them. Because what the hell is going on?
If I can do this, why can't I do this in this game?
And actually makes them so angry and frustrated because then they don't have any consistency. So in order to combat that, you need to go into a review. What I say in my video, I said this in my video, is you need to go back into review and look at the way you're dying, and look at how you're losing. Like look at you at your worst. Like when you're losing, like how bad do you lose? Do you know how to lose gracefully? Look at your the core. Yeah, how you're dying rather than how you're winning, because people like to love to show me a VOD where they're ahead and how to translate leads.
Yeah.
I get this often. I said this morning in the Discord.
Yeah.
People say to me, my problem is translating leads.
Yeah.
Anyone that's even in platinum, I highly
Yeah,
doubt
it's
that
true,
your problem is
isn't it?
translating
Yeah,
leads.
yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe high plat, like plat 2, yes. But if you're plat 4, plat 3, gold 1, gold 2, you shouldn't be really looking at translating leads. I don't think so. Translating leads is a higher elo concept.
Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, there is some reviews that I do, probably like 20, 30 30% max where it's like we could have pushed this a little bit further.
But yes, there are those games, Nathan. But my theory is that that's actually not what's holding them back from winning.
No, it's not.
Because what's holding them back from is, like you said, it's the losses. It's when they're behind. Yeah. Because the thing is, we know, Nathan, people play worse from behind. So if you get ahead, you already got the mental advantage.
Yeah.
They're going to beat themselves most of the time. Their teammates are probably getting flamed. They're actually going to play progressively worse and worse. They're going to get caught out more. That's just the way it works. Majority of the time. So yeah, that's my theory anyway.
But you read it from a book, didn't you, Curtis?
Yeah, there's a poker book.
It wasn't a golf?
No, he played golf, but he's a poker coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could show you I'll show you the diagram after.
Okay. All right, next one here is from... Oh, that's not the one. Where is it? There we go. This one here is from Toast. Hey coaches, I'm Nerve, just a kid from EU West. I've dropped from Silver 2 to Silver 4 and the agreed 30-40-40 rule. This is the video you made for people that don't know. What's the video called, the title?
30-30, coin flip?
Yeah, it's something about the coin flip. No, it's not about...
I think it's coin flip. Why are your games a coin flip or something? How coin flip works?
Yeah, something like... Just type in Coach Curtis coin flip and you'll find the video. So the 30-40-40 rule just doesn't seem to be working. Feels like more like 10-50-30 recently. It probably sounds like I'm crying, and yeah, I'm pretty sad right now, but I feel what I say is true. I keep playing well and losing whilst having an AFK bot lane or int in jungle, and every time I tell myself, it's okay, just win the games you can. 30-40-40 after all.
Yeah.
But every time I tell myself that, it just feels less real, and I feel less motivated to click you again. Just bad luck, ?
Well, yeah, think about it logically.
Yeah, think about it logically. So for some reason, so you're saying 50% of games are auto loss. Is that what you're saying? 10% free wins and 30% in his control?
I think so.
So if you apply that to everyone else...
Well, does that even add up to... That doesn't even add up to 100.
That's up to 90. All right, Toast, we got some flawed logic here, okay?
I see where he's getting at.
Yeah, we understand what you mean here. So he's saying 50% of his games are auto loss. You know, it's like just think about that. That means that no one is
climbing. Everyone's losing.
Climbing.
Because you can only have a 40% win rate max.
Yeah, that's right. Because you said that 40% are only you can win.
I think so. I think that's what he means. Or maybe it's 50% is in his control, 10% it's free win, 30% loss.
No, it's 50%.
Okay.
He's saying, I think. And he's saying that his every game is an int in bot lane, int in jungle, AFK bot lane.
I mean, you're going to get those games, but okay, you're going to get the AFK bot lane, but again, the enemy's going to have AFK bot lanes, they're going to have the quote-unquote inting jungler. And the thing is, man, like, you know what's fascinating? I always say this whenever I watch people in my Discord stream their games and if they complain about junglers. You are often contributing to the situation, whether or not you're aware of it or not. Like maybe you don't have the knowledge to pinpoint how you are contributing to it. The situation, but you are. I'm not going to say all of the situations, but there are often situations where your jungler's coming. You could easily ping him back because you don't want to gank. You know you just got to reset. You're sitting on 1,800 gold or 1,300 gold. You need to reset or you have no resources. Or your jungler's calling for you to go to dragon and you compensate and you go to the dragon anyway. Or your jungler's going to invade and rather than pinging back, you just go anyway with no resources, no mana and heaps of gold. Like there are so many situations in which, like you remember, Silver, you don't have to do anything special. Is it Toast? Is his name?
Toast, yeah.
You don't have to do anything special. You just have to protect it. Like I love using that analogy or that quote. It's like when you're in a boxing ring. You protect yourself at all times, right? It's your responsibility to protect yourself at all times.
Because it's a dangerous sport.
It's a dangerous sport, right? So at any point in time, there's going to be shit flying everywhere. You got to protect yourself. And that's why it's okay to sacrifice your jungler if he's making an incorrect play just to keep you alive and make sure you're farming really well. Or often, you're like losing a lot of trades in mid lane and then your jungler gets caught in the river when you should have priority, but you don't have priority. So the enemy mid laner gets there first and then you lose the 2v2 because of you. That's actually because of you.
Mm.
So what I'm getting at here is I'm sure that these quote unquote inting jungler games, yes, you're going to have them.
We would have a different definition of an inting jungler.
Very different.
Yeah.
I mean, what you're probably experiencing is just, you know, jungler making suboptimal decisions. But again, the enemy jungler is making suboptimal decisions. If you're winning trades more than the enemy mid laner, the chances you're going to get to fights more and influence these fights more often than the enemy mid laner it's just the case. You're just going to influence more fights. So if you're winning trades, this jungle diff, whatever it is, the chances you'll see it just won't exist. It seems like if you're in silver, right now you have some very massive flaws in your trading, your early laning. Like your first 10 minutes of the game are likely incredibly poor. Something fundamentally going wrong there. Whether you don't know how to CS, your trading patterns are really off. Your clicking and mouse accuracy is just like you just don't know how to control your character yet properly. You don't understand what all the abilities in the game do. You don't understand your champion's identity, your power spikes, when you need to fight, when you don't need to fight. Just very basic stuff. Go back to the fundamentals, man. Again, you know what? And the other thing I'll say is like, you should just, if you're in silver, part of me just thinks that just relax, just enjoy the game.
Just relax, yeah.
Like if I were to go back in silver, I was never in silver, but if I were to go back in time and like say I was in silver, just the thing I would tell myself is just chill, have fun. Like you're very low. This is the time where most people don't really know what they're doing, so you can actually have fun and like it's more forgiving. The game is actually more fun in a way.
Test things out, experiment.
Yeah, accept where you're at right now. Don't have these crazy expectations about like, you being in challenger in the season. Just relax, enjoy it. Focus on what you need to do.
Don't worry about your rank too much, man, bro. Again, your level of skill is a reflection of your rank.
LP is a byproduct of your level of play.
So if you're struggling around silver 2, silver 4, at max you can maybe be like a gold 4 player sometimes in these games. But it's like, okay, let's go back to that question. Why aren't I a diamond level player? Get into the review, watch some champions. There's plenty of content on YouTube. It sounds like you're a mid laner potentially. All Curtis's content there. Watch what Curtis does. Curtis streams. How is that different from you? How often is Curtis dying? How often are you dying? In what fashion are you dying?
Right.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our questions here, Curtis.
Wrap it up neatly.
Nicely,
like a Christmas present.
Like a Christmas present. It's Christmas soon, Curtis.
I got to wrap my presents.
You do need to wrap we all got to wrap our presents. Wait, what's today's date? Today's the... Oh my God, it's the 14th, dude.
It's like 10 days to Christmas.
Whoa.
So we got one more podcast before I go on my little break.
Yeah, that's fine. But we'll do one more, and then the next one, that'll be... So we have 2 more podcasts before Christmas. Because the next Monday is...
Yeah, but I'm going away Friday, and then I come back Monday.
Yeah, that's fine.
Might have to be Monday night.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks.
People don't know that the podcast has changed.
Oh, yeah, the podcast has changed. Yeah, no one knows because people tune out by now. It's like, okay, they've ended the podcast. The questions are over. So what we'll do is pin it in the comment of the next YouTube video.
You're right.
But again, if you listen on Spotify and stuff like that, it now comes out on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern time and Friday 11 a.m. Eastern time. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, listening. We'll see you next time.
I bet.